All listens, all eyeballs. My lovely people, this is I, Brough Perkins, your friendly neighborhood psychic, broadcasting to you March 26, 2025. Isn't this fun? Well, I thought I'd come on here yet again to say hello and to take a few calls, but also to talk, to chit-chat about a couple of different interesting paranormal topics that have been on my mind that I have clients asking me about. I've had some interesting questions lately, as of late, from clients who are having readings with me privately, which is what I do every day, of course, asking me how to develop psychic ability of their own. I mean, you know, what do you guys want? You want to read yourselves? You want to not have to come to me anymore to get an outsider's perspective on the inside? I don't know. I don't know what you guys are after. You can't read yourselves. I got bad news. Can't read yourselves. I can't read myself. I've got to go to other psychics. But I can tell you what you can do to have your own induced paranormal experience. You can do something we call astral projection. And this is a way of inducing an out-of-body experience and being able to lift up out of body and take a flying Superman style or Wonder Woman style leap out your window, off your balconies, you know. Actually, it's kind of freaky because it feels real. Even it is real. That's why it feels real. Sometimes you have to look down and see if your body is actually still in the bed because it feels that real. But when you can take a leap through a wall, when you can walk through a door, when you can fly above the city, soar above whatever town you live in, the city, in my case, it's a lot of fun. Who doesn't want to do that? But even moreover, you can access higher realms when you astrally project. One of the cool things about learning to do it so young, when I learned in my late teens, from a man named Bob Peterson, by the way, who acknowledges me in his latest book, Hacking the Out-of-Body Experience. In the foreword, you can find my name. He taught me how to leave my body. So when my mother died, when I was 25, a few years later, I was able to induce an out-of-body experience to contact her, which was a really healing experience. In fact, my mother died in her bed suddenly, and I had laid in the spot that she died, and I just had this conviction that I would not leave until I make it out of the body to check on my mother to make sure she was all right. And of course, I did. I lifted out of the body after about 45 minutes of practice, and I could see my mother sitting on the bed beside me, crying. I couldn't hear anything, and the colors were faint. I could see mostly black and white, which is very stereotypical of out-of-body experiences at first, when you first get out, because your mind, your physical brain can't interpret the light frequencies of that higher astral realm, so you can't quite see in color, you see. But eventually you do see in color eventually. Beside her was a taller man, an older man who had a familiar face and a full head of hair, which is why I didn't recognize him at first, because he was my mother's father. My grandfather was totally bald in life, but in spirit, you see, we get our hair back. We get our face back. No more wrinkles, no more jowls, no more like all the tear and wear and horrible things that come with age. You get rid of that. When you're out of your body, your spirit body, your astral body is beautiful. That's another sign that you've made it out. Actually, my teacher Bob will have a game with his wife Kathy where she locks some object or maybe a piece of writing, a word in a safe that Bob doesn't have access to. And he will leave his body, and 9 out of 10 times, he'll get what that thing is, so he can poke his astral head in there. People fear leaving their body. They think, bro, I'm going to get trapped. Something will jump in my body. First of all, nobody wants your life, people, okay? You think a demon is going to take over your life? You think you're that important? Also, your bank account's in the negative. Nobody's coming for your life, okay, folks? Get over yourselves. Second of all, this is a misnomer, because astral projection, you're not actually leaving your body. That can only happen at death. You're creating a quantum duplicate. Think of like the drones with cameras. You can have a drone, you can fly it around, you can look through the camera. You're creating this spiritual drone of yourself, if you will, and you can project it outward, out of your body, and you can only go so far. You have limited energy. So at first, when you learn to do this, you'll black out. You'll be flying through the city or the suburbs, wherever you live, with your negative bank account, but that'll long be forgotten because you're so happy to be out of your body. And then suddenly you black out and you wake up in your body again, because you only have so much astral energy to project yourself so far at first, but you flex that muscle. You get to learn how to use it, and other interesting things happen. I made it out of my body once. This was a few years ago when I lived across the street from here. And I go to the spirit world where I see my mother, and she's sitting in a Victorian house that she's created for me. And it's like my house in the spirit world. My mother never really liked Victorians, but she was very proud of me for having an office in a Victorian mansion just before she passed. So she's created this beautiful home for me. So she goes, go to your bedroom. So I go down a long hall, and my spirit guide, Laren, is there. Those of you who read my book have seen her picture. Laren put her spirit photograph in a roll of film for me, so she appeared. And I get into this bedroom, and I see this little movement on a Victorian sofa, and I'm thinking to myself, what is that? And I go up close, and I see it's like a form of somewhat of a cat, but it's not fully formed. So this little being had just gotten there to the spirit world, and my guide Laren says, heal him, bro. So I sat down next to this little form, and I took him to my chest, and I could put healing energy and love into this little thing, and it crawled back into the couch. And so I thought, what a strange experience. Anyway, I did a couple other things while I was up there, but then I came back to my body, and a few days after this, without saying a word to anybody, my father told me that my childhood cat that my younger sister had taken care of for me, because this cat was an outdoor cat, grew up in Quebec, and my sister lived in the country at the time. So Dad said, your cat had passed away last week, but we didn't want to tell you because you've been going through some difficult things. I thought, my God, that must have been my cat, because it was the same colors. It's just I didn't recognize Oreo in that form. And so he had just arrived, and I thought to myself, my God, I guess I knew. I guess I had that insight ahead of knowledge, ahead of being told, because of the astral projection. So you can see your loved ones who have passed on. You can give them a hug. You can interact with them. You can also see things going on around you at a higher level when you learn to astrally project. So there are methods. I'll walk you through it quick at some point in this podcast. I want to also invite everybody to call in. You're welcome to use the Zoom links as well as the phone numbers. We have someone waiting on the line. And actually, this is not a caller. This is a guest, a friend of the show. We're going to bring Joyce Aldrich of the Joyce Aldrich Show in. Hi, Joyce. You can, you'll have to unmute yourself. Got the little mute button.
Yeah, there you go.
I didn't warn you, Joyce. Thanks for tuning in.
I have my video up. My video, I don't think it's not on video.
No, that's all right. Your show is completely audio, isn't it? Like a theater of the mind.
It completely is. That's right. So we're just going for voices and spirit here.
Oh, that's great. But you had me on, I want to say last week, didn't you? Did we do that no, this weekend, actually. Was that Saturday?
That was Saturday night. Yeah.
Saturday night, right. We had some readings calling in. That was really good. And how did you feel that show went? Was that the way you had expected?
Yeah, it was great. And we had 3 phenomenal readings, actually. And the one with Sandra that you mentioned the other night about tasting the tobacco in her mouth from her husband, that was amazing. And you had a great connection with her.
That's right. She was worried that her husband wasn't coming around lately, and then I started to smell tobacco, and then on the call, she began tasting it. She never even smoked.
Yeah, I know she'd never smoked in her life, but she could taste that strong taste of tobacco. You said that her husband had actually was trying to find a different way to connect with her, and he was connecting more with her son and that with what he was going through. And yeah, it was just phenomenal, absolutely. And also with Tamara, when you mentioned the pies, the apple pie, and they said, no, there's another kind of pie too, and it was rhubarb. And she said, yeah, my mom loved rhubarb. We picked it in the back, and yeah, there were a lot of really, yeah, beautiful connections. Absolutely.
Oh,
Yeah.
fantastic. Yeah, it's always
Yeah.
a dicey thing doing readings on a live stream because I never know if anything's going to come through. Some are stronger than others, but that's what you would expect on these sorts of things. And so your show, the Joyce Aldrich Show, people can find that through, I think, YouTube, Facebook, Spotify as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. And on Patreon as well, you can join there for free. I don't charge, if they want to come on, and I have all these shows open. So on Patreon, Spotify, YouTube, I do have a thumbnail up, but yeah, just to interact and to listen and just I have two episodes. I have the Joyce Aldrich Show entertainment, arts and entertainment, and then I have the Joyce Aldrich Show paranormal and UFO edition. And there's a lot of great shows there, including you, because you agreed to be house psychic, which is absolutely
The
phenomenal.
house
So
psychic, that's right.
yeah, you're more than a house psychic. You're amazing.
I'm like a
So
house
yeah,
cat. I'm a house psychic. I like it though. I like being a
you're
house
yeah,
psychic.
that's right. And my house cat.
I want to just be a
Oh my
house
goodness.
everything. I like the idea of just being a homebody, home psychic, homey psychic in the city. You're kind of in the city too, and we've
Well,
got some
yeah.
ideas to. I want to eventually do live streams at events, with my book. I'm going to do a talking engagement and take questions from the audience, and I'd like to get to a place where I'm doing that once a month at a venue. I just have to
Oh, that'd
find a
be great.
dedicated venue. And so what we'll do is probably these live streams in the week, and then at the end of the month, people can come in person and sit in the audience, and we'll have more of a real, just to build that, because people need a place to go. You know what I mean? These days, there's no places to go anymore.
Yeah, and people really like to congregate. I remember back in the day, I used to go to the spiritualist meetings where there'd be a reader, and it was always wonderful. And even if the reader didn't choose you out of the audience to come, like it's what the whole idea of just standing there and then picking up someone's vibe and giving them a reading. It's always exciting because everybody got something out of it, and
I
it
love it.
yeah, it's really
A
supportive.
nice night out. You're going to meet other people of like
Yeah.
mind. I'm some wine, some beer, some hors d'oeuvres, something nice. We're going to get it together and do this like once a month, I think, to create a sense of community and then even travel to
Yeah, I think
different
it would be
cities.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, like and to try and to get a venue, where would you? Yeah, go to different cities. That would be
Mm.
great. So if any of the your callers may have some places, communities that they belong to, they can always offer up that kind of venue too. So it's not
Yeah.
cost prohibitive.
Yeah, that's a good idea, especially if there's a stage or elevated platform. That's ideal because I need to sit up like a talk show, and that way everybody's looking up. The psychics I find that I've worked with who do live events, they'll do this sort of thing, and they picked it up off John Edward, where they walk into the audience and people have to turn and it hurts their neck. I prefer to be
Mhm.
on
Yeah,
stage,
you
and
like to be high up like a cat.
I like being high up like the cat. Yes.
That's right.
And I want to
Yeah.
look down on the little people, Joyce. That's what I want to do at the end of the day.
I know, but no, I understand because as I'm a singer as well, and when
Mm.
you're up on stage, it's one thing, yeah, you can go into the audience, but it's not the same. It's lovely, do Lawrence Welk kind of thing, but really to be up on stage, it's really good to have actually that boundary
And
as
it
well.
relaxes everybody.
I,
Everybody
I
can
think I think it's
relax.
really important. Yeah,
Especially the lighting is darker in the theater, so that's just on me. And then
yeah,
everyone can relax and not feel like they're put on the spot, until it's time to come up for a reading. And my
exactly.
what we did was at Base Borden, actually, when Chris Stiller, who's another medium, who I need to get on the show actually at some point, Chris put on a thing, and so I did a talk on stage, and my dad brought like furniture, so we created like a talk show. with the couches and everything, and we had a fish bowl.
Nice.
So if you wanted, and I did this with Liz down in Niagara region too, 2 years ago, I want to say now, and put your name in the fish bowl, and you'll get selected at random for a little reading. And it was hilarious. Liz and I were, playing with each other a bit. So she would pick the worst possible question and give it to me. And she'd take the nice ones for herself. So she gets this one little fortune cookie like thing that says, the name of the person, and goes, "How did he die?" That's all it says. Liz goes, "This will be good for you, bro." So I get up. I'm like, "Who's John?" And the woman just had to pick herself up off the floor. She goes, "That's him. That's my dad." And then I go, "I'm getting complications." And then Liz goes from the side, "Surgery." And the woman just has to, she's like, "Yes, he had internal bleeding, and we thought it was from the surgery." So we got all the information. So that kind of thing is so cool at a live venue, and everybody brought treats. It was great. So yeah, we got to do that.
It's a collaborative effort there when you both chimed in. That's really cool.
Absolutely. Now, yeah. Joyce, do you want to co-host with me, hang out with me for a few calls?
Sure, that'd be great.
Oh, I love it. Let's bring Kirk in. We're going to bring you in as well, Lisa, later. So let's try with Kirk and see if his camera and microphone are working. Kirk is a new caller, so that's exciting always. Bring in Kirk. Let's see if it works. All right. We'll ask you to unmute. And I'll wrap up the show today by giving you a little bit of a process that you could practice to induce astral projection. It takes a lot of practice, though. It's not a right-away thing. Now, Kirk, it seems as though you're not connecting your audio. We're going to keep you here until you do. I'm going to bring in Lisa in the meantime. We'll see if we can get Lisa on the line. Hi, Lisa.
Hi.
Nice to see you, my friend. I think we've had readings before, haven't we?
We have.
Awesome.
We have.
Do you have a question tonight? And feel free as well to share a story.
Oh, I have a question. It's been 3 years since I lost my best friend. This last Saturday was her 3-year anniversary. I haven't received any messages from her, wondering if she's around and if she has a message for me.
All right, your best friend. And she's not a C or a K name, is she? What's her name?
Tina.
Beautiful, beautiful. She's got a C or K here on Earth. I don't know if that's a Chris or a Cassidy or something similar anyway. Keep that name on file because I think that's someone related to her or from her personal circles. And, she's been around you. She's been trying to get through in dreams every so often. And I think June or July, somewhere in that range, is going to be when she breaks through. Is that a special anniversary closer for you or for her?
June or July.
Around a 4, 14, or 24. So keep that in mind, okay? It's going to be a special date. May even just be when she breaks through, when she's planning on breaking in, to connect with you. And I'm seeing a beautiful kind of violet flower as well, like a dark, like a bluish purple, and that's going to be special for her. Someone may be doing that for her with that particular flower, or that was at her funeral. It's one or the other. Yeah, it was very tragic because she lived a very healthy lifestyle. Yet, of course, this seemed like a cancer that came out of the blue or something crazy. What happened?
She was in a really bad car accident, and she had spinal surgery. And so after that, she told me, a month before that, she thought she had cancer. Wasn't sure if it's true or not because it's in her genes. But I never really talked to her about, did she have cancer or not? But she did bring it up. But she died from complications, I'm guessing, from the surgery. She did do some drugs as well. So I wasn't sure if she OD'd.
It's so bizarre because I see more of the cancer and I feel like organs were shutting down. So maybe she did have cancer on top of the complications from surgery and everything and her injuries, because organs were shutting down, kidneys, liver, everything. It was so bizarre.
Okay.
And she lived a fairly healthy lifestyle, I feel like. So the accident makes some sense, I guess, in the sense that it may have triggered everything to go downhill. Yeah,
Okay.
she's around. And does she have a daughter, or is that your daughter?
She has a daughter. I also have two
You
daughters.
have two daughters. Does she have a daughter and a son from different fathers?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And she comes around both the kids, but her son, is he older or is he 11 or something?
She does have a younger son
Mm-hmm.
that is 11. No,
11 now, or
he should be tw 10, 12.
okay, so around this time.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
And that's also from another father. Is that same father as daughter?
No, it's different father.
Three different ones. Okay, yeah, because she's
Yes.
showing me a mixed up family, but she's making me feel like that little boy. She's very protective of him, and an aunt
Uh-huh.
figure is helping him a lot, a godmother type of aunt, and grandparents too. And I feel like she's with her daughter a lot, who's going to be either a psychotherapist or a nurse or a caregiver type of person. What's her
Yeah,
daughter
she's
into?
going. Her daughter's is nursing school, actually.
Nursing. Okay, tell her your kooky friend Uncle Bro said she's going to succeed. That's from her mother on high authority. And yeah, yeah, Tina is her name, but she's also showing me an A name. Is that someone living, like one of the kids or her mom or something?
A. No,
Okay, we're
no
gonna leave
A.
that. Leave that for because the C and the A name are people alive. Okay, just so you look them
Okay.
up later. And
Okay.
she's going to be with you this year on a trip that you're going to take. You're going somewhere where you're putting your toes in the sand, and it's
Yes, I am.
beautiful. Is this? It's not like it's not an Asian country, but I'm going over the Atlantic though. Where are you headed?
I am going next month to Vietnam.
It is an Asian country. Okay, yeah, because it felt very hot though, and it felt like there's beaches nearby.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be great. It's going to be a good trip. She's going to be with you on that trip, and she'll guide your attention to a particular kind of bird acting strange, and that's going to be a sign from her as well.
Nice, nice.
Great.
Very good.
Now, do you have a story of a reading we had before? Something that's come true? Something that blew you away? Anything?
Yeah, so like we had a reading May of 2024. Um I mean, so you said something about I'm going to be helping someone that is overseas that wouldn't have the capabilities to come back here. And that was May of 2024. Well, this April, I'm actually going back to Vietnam to pick up my father, who wouldn't have been able to be there to come back home to the US. So, do you think that's what the reading was?
I think
Me?
so. I think that's going to happen. Yeah. Yeah. Is he looking at the northeastern part of the states?
Yeah, northeastern part of the state. Okay, because I'm going back to Vietnam in April to bring my father back to the States.
Is he going to Michigan and New York or something?
No, no, he's staying here in California.
Oh, you're out in California. Maybe
Yeah.
it'll be the eastern side of town. I know this sounds stupid, but the eastern side of town or something.
Okay.
Or there will be more of an eastern connection than you realize, perhaps down the road. So I'm going to leave that with
Okay.
you. All right.
Okay, very good.
Thank you so much, Lisa. We'll put you back in the weight room for now. We're going to bring in another caller momentarily. And let's try this. We have a phone call coming in from area code 647. You're on the line.
Hey, bro. How are you?
I'm good. Who is this?
It's Ryan.
Ryan, nice to hear from you. Down in, if I'm not mistaken, are you near Hamilton or St. Catharines?
Niagara area, yeah.
Niagara area, that's right. Ryan from Niagara. So do you have a question for me?
Any messages for me?
Any messages? Okay, so you're thinking more of your grandmother and your mother?
I've had a few losses recently, actually.
Did you
So,
guys lose a younger man, someone who wasn't quite through his 60s?
I lost my father recently. He was in his 60s, yes.
Yeah, it wasn't quite 65. It felt like, was he 64 or 63?
He was 65, 65, I think.
Okay, yeah, right at that line. Okay, yeah, yeah. So he's coming around you. I don't know why, but I'm going, the bowels seem to have a problem. Do you have an aortic issue lower in his body?
Sorry, I'm tongue-tied. Don't mind me. Let me try that again. Sorry. He didn't talk much about his health. He kept it to himself pretty much.
Yeah, there's something problematic down in the bowels, and so yeah, so he's around. He's going to come through soon. Dream visitations. He's only recently gone, eh? Like less than 6, 7
Yes.
months.
Just a few weeks ago, actually.
Yeah, I was even going to say it might have been February. Okay, so in around the 6th or 7th month, which could be June or July, which is around when I was seeing it originally. This is how he's going to break through. That's the time that he's going to break through. He's going to affect a clock. Do you have one of those old style clocks or the kitty cat clock in the kitchen that you inherited from grandma or someone?
No.
Or a cuckoo
Actually,
clock?
no.
It's a clock that has a timer. It could even be an alarm clock if you inherit one from him or took his alarm clock or something. But he's going to play with something.
I do have an old like a digital alarm.
Yeah, because he's going to make something happen with the clock that goes cuckoo or goes. Maybe it's a digital alarm, but it's a clock that goes off, and he's going to do something with that. Yeah, and he also comes around with the scent of smoke or tobacco. Have you recognized anything like that?
Yes, he was a smoker. Yes.
Yeah, he's going to do that now from spirit as well. It'll be 1 or 2 breaths you get of it, and then it disappears, and that'll be him. So these are the signs you can expect from Dad. But your family's proud of you, and I feel like you got married later in life, didn't you?
No, I do have a girlfriend though.
Okay, so if you do get married to her, it'll be later by the standard of the day. And he does show me this kind of union for you, like a marriage in the future.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Who worked in the factory? Did you ever do that, or did Dad?
He was a truck driver.
Dad's like me. My dad's a truck driver. Okay, so you never worked in a warehouse?
No.
Okay, keep this in mind. Okay, there's something connected to a warehouse or factory. Now, what's interesting is truck drivers do dock at warehouses, but I don't think that's quite what it is, unless he did that earlier in life.
I didn't mean to cut you off. Sorry, bro.
Yeah, what were you saying?
I was going to say, my mom, who's also passed, did work in a factory to a degree.
Okay. Something doesn't feel like it's the past. I'm going to have you remember this. Remember that I said this. It's going to come into play for you down the road somehow. And I think that's where it belongs. Dad's giving you a little nudge or some hint or clue about something. Of course, in a private, proper reading, we'll see a lot more about that stuff. All right. Thank you very much, Ryan. We'll take your call next time. We're going to bring Jessica in. Jessica's been waiting. Let's see here. Now, everyone remember to toggle your microphone button to unmute yourself. And if you'd like to come on camera, that's always fun, but you don't have to. All right, Jessica. You're up.
Hi.
Hello. Now, have you had a reading before?
I haven't had a reading, but I've joined one of these live streams with you before.
Excellent. Okay. Do you have a question for me today?
Not really like a certain question, maybe a message for me that I need to know.
Well, you know, on these live streams, it's different than a proper hour-long reading. So it's best you come in with a question honed in. That way I can focus. Otherwise, we'll be in a 3-hour reading. So we gotta hone it in.
Yes.
Now, when you say message, do you mean from a specific dead person, or do you mean in general for your life?
Maybe from someone who's passed.
Now, I don't really see very many spirit around you at this very moment. That's a problem in these readings, is they have to know we're doing this ahead of time. But I am drawn, it seems, toward your career path and your purpose. Did you have a question around that?
Maybe just if I'm on the right track, or
I'm
if I need to.
Courses or schooling. Are you training in that now, or are you thinking about it? Yeah?
I'm doing some online courses right now.
Okay, because I see a certification working out for you. I'm also getting 2 or 3 months. Is that would take us into about June. Is that a date for finishing one of the courses?
Yes, that's exam time.
Yeah, you're going to succeed. You're going to succeed in your exams. I'm getting a lot to do with training people, counseling people, assisting with human resource and various other It's almost kind of like social work in a corporate setting. It's funny. What field are you in right now?
So I'm actually upgrading some high school courses to be able to go to university because I'm interested in teaching, but
Hmm.
it's not like I could change my mind.
Well, teaching is in the humanities. It's definitely something helping people, and I'm getting like something on the human resource side of things. I hesitate to say because I don't think that industry is going to stay the same or survive for very much longer. But
Yes.
I think that counseling and legal and teaching are all three areas to keep in your mind, okay? Because these are more up your alley. Even something to do potentially with family courts or family law. Maybe as a counselor or a social worker, you'd work in and around the courts of some kind. The problem with teaching with you is that you are good at the material, but you would feel like a glorified babysitter after about week number 2 on the job.
Yeah.
You
That
like
seems
your own kids and your own nieces, nephews. You don't love everyone else's kids.
yeah. Yeah.
You
I
know?
can see that.
So I think teaching, while being a good fallback, dream a little bit bigger. That's my sense for you. And I think your grandmother would agree. Would she be one of the main spirit people you'd want to hear from?
Yes.
Was that your mom's mom, would you say?
Yes, it's my mom's mom.
Okay. Did she have two names? You know how like people go by Mary Ellen or something like that, or
Uh,
ML?
I know she had nicknames, but she really only had one name, I think, that she went by, but she definitely did have nicknames.
Ah, okay, interesting. Yeah, yeah. I just feel like she's around you, and she comes in dreams mostly. Yeah, and there's an
Yes.
uncle. There's like an uncle figure up there too. Was the last person in the family like a great uncle or a cousin's father that passed?
Yes.
Okay. What was that from? Was that because I'm getting degeneration again? I get organs shutting down. Normally, that's my symbol for cancer. What happened to the uncle figure?
Yes. He had cancer. I don't quite know the full story, but I know he did have cancer everywhere and his organs were shutting down and he wasn't functioning properly and couldn't eat and stuff.
Was there a J name with him, or was that with your grandmother?
Like someone who has passed?
Yeah, I'm getting a John, Jack, or James or something. J
N-
J.
no, his name was Ronnie. His name
He's
didn't start with
Ronnie.
a
Okay, I might have even pulled him in last night because I remember talking about a Ronnie last night.
Okay.
But the J name is with him, so you can look into his family history because you're going to find the J there. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I know somebody who is like living that was really close to him that starts with a J, but
Who
aside from
who
that,
is that?
Jacob, he's my cousin.
So that would be his son,
That's his grandson.
grandson. Oh, okay, that's good to know because he was a great uncle. Okay, yeah. Well, that could be. That could be. Is Jacob's anniversary or birth date this time of year, like just behind us in January or February?
It was in December.
Yeah, just behind. It doesn't feel that long ago, even though we're at the end of March. So I think
Yeah.
his granddad's been around him, and he's congratulating him on driving. Now I don't know how old he turned, but maybe he just practiced driving or something.
It's possible.
Yeah, someone put him behind the wheel. I have a feeling, and his granddad saw that. So I think you have to relay that to your cousin, definitely.
I will, I
Yeah,
will.
yeah. All right, love. Thank you very much. Did you, by the way? So you've never had a private reading, but you've only called in before.
Yes.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, well, maybe you'll have a private reading down the road. Thank you very much
Yes.
for your call. And we're going to check out the chat, see who's chit-chatting. And if you're still there, Joyce, feel free to chime in. Anything on your mind. Sarah goes, I need to squish your face. Is that me, Sarah? You want to squish my face? Oh, that's nice. At least somebody wants to. We got Ryan saying, thanks, bro. No problem, Ryan. Thanks for your call. And we have Deborah Chezinska. Chezinska. Did I get that right? Chezinska. That's what I'm going to say. Good afternoon, she says. Well, good afternoon to you. And Sarah Foss says, my mom's cat passed away yesterday. I dreamt of him last night. I freaked out and scared him. I didn't think he would come to see me so soon. That's true. They do hang around for a few days sometimes. That's why when my youngest cat passed away, I kept her body for about 3 days because it helps when their soul is separating. I didn't want to put her through the cremation process too quickly. until I was sure. So, and that's actually recommended if anyone loses a pet, keep their body for a couple of days and mourn and let the other animals see them, especially. You need to let your other animals, if they have siblings like my littlest one does with Moo. And hi there. You're there, Joyce, right?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm just giving you your space because you are in such a zone, and the veil is very, very thin with you, and I'm always so impressed by how well connected you are with people, and your manner is so wonderful. You're so great with people,
Oh,
and
thank you.
yeah,
I
no,
worry.
no, it's true. It's just no, it is. It's true. It's there's absolutely you're guileless. The ego is you're the real deal. You're the real deal,
Well,
bro.
thank you, Joyce.
I
I
so
worry
love
about being
working with
boring
you.
because for me, it's like every day. I remember being in Suzanne's kitchen one time with her daughter Amanda, who worked for Much Music, and Amanda's partner at the time, Andy, was a producer, and those were the two who created Much About Ghosts. And I was like, I feel boring. And he goes, yeah, you just talk to dead people. You're so boring. But for me, it's so normal. It's so natural that I don't know, And my dad, he's not into. He watches the car shows. Like his YouTube channel is all the car shows. And by the way, Joyce, because you and I are trying to wrangle up some viewers ourselves, these car
Yeah,
boys go on YouTube and they've got like 7 million followers. So we
amazing.
need to figure out our game. Maybe we need to start doing a car show. I don't know. We'll have to figure it out.
Well, who knows? But you can never be boring because you have so much information at your fingertips, and you impart it so easily and so naturally. It's just who you are. You know.
Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate that, Joyce. We're going to bring Sandra in and see if we can get a little hello. Hi, Sandra. How are
Oh,
you?
Sandra. Hi, Sandra.
Yeah, Sandra, your microphone. We got to unmute yourself here. Let's see if that works. All right, Sandra. Unmute. You got to hit your little microphone button. You know what to do. You're a pro by now. While I wait for you, there you are, Sandra.
Yeah, sorry about that. I had to close out Facebook, so I had
No
come in a
problem.
bit later.
No
It's nice to
problem.
see you, Sandra.
Nice to see you in the
Good
daytime,
evening.
no less. It's a rare stream where it's daytime for me. So, how are you doing today?
Not too good.
No.
I just received some word. I was wondering if you could tell me what it was.
Is it about your living situation?
No.
Okay. Because I just see you having to go somewhere. Is this to do with a funeral or to do with because I'm getting the whole family together for some reason.
Funeral.
I'm sorry to hear. Is this a woman, like a sister figure?
No.
Who's
It
that?
is a woman, but
Yeah, because it just feels sisterly to me. Who is this to you, Sandra?
she's a close friend. She and her husband and Dave and I and another couple, we chummed around for years every weekend, and we bowled together, and we
You met them
attended
in
all
like
the
your
events
40s or something, didn't you? You've been for quite a long time, friends.
since 1965.
Oh, even before then. Yeah. So over 40 years. My goodness. Wow. Yeah, it seems like her passing was sudden. Was it unexpected, like a stroke or a cerebral hemorrhage?
She'd had several strokes, but this was quite unexpected.
Yeah. Yeah, I just feel like she went to sleep and never came out of it. Did they find her in bed in the morning? Is that what happened?
I really don't know
You'll
the
probably find out
particulars
about
yet.
that. Yeah, because I'm seeing and I think as a result it might change the living situation for her husband. Yeah.
He's gone too.
Oh, is that Bill or Bob or something? Bill or William?
No,
That
no.
person is part of this story. I don't know who that is to her. You can think of that later, of course. And he may have been someone who came to get her. And also, yeah, I'm just seeing something to do with the house again. Living situation, house. Does she have a home still that the kids might have to deal with?
No. That after her husband died, that was all taken care of. And that
Okay.
she was living in a retirement home.
Yeah, there's something to do with the living situation changing. Even though she was in a retirement home, something's going to come through for her children. I think, does she have a son in particular?
Yes.
who's in charge of a lot, because I'm getting this almost like a remote viewing where he's going to take some assets or something and put it toward a home that's going to affect the whole family in a good way. So
That would be nice for
this will be
them.
kind of a tribute home. It's hard to explain, but perhaps that'll come to you later. You'll hear news.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So that's sad, but I do see her around. At this stage, it's so new that it'll take her some months to be able to come forward. But you know that Dave is saying hi, and they're arranging a party up there for sure. Yeah,
Yeah, that just leaves me.
yeah, yeah. I know. After a certain point, it just seems that everybody drops like flies. But again, you're here for the grandkids. You're here for the great grandkids. You're here for a while yet, and this summer is going to be a better summer than last year. Yeah.
Yes, because I also received news that another very dear close friend lost her husband last year, and she has sold, they hope. The closing date's not until May, but she just received word minutes ago that the house was sold.
Oh,
So
I wonder if I overlapped those two things because they're such similar connections to you right now, in the vein of losing loved ones. And yeah, that might
it would
be.
be very good because she's going to try to move back here so we can get together
Oh,
and
that'll
we
be
can get
interesting.
out together.
That's interesting. Yeah, yeah. I might have overlapped the two. Yeah, those two concepts probably came on top of each other. Yeah, yeah, yeah. 100%. Now, you call in all the time, so that's great. But you've also had a private reading after you
Yes.
originally met me on here. Do you want to talk at all about any of the difference between a private reading versus these online kind of haphazard? I call these
Well,
drive-by readings, like like a drive-by
it,
gangbang.
it's uh it's quite different being able to be prepared with some questions that I wanted to ask and just being able to connect with you and seeing the impressions that you got and the things you were able to convey to me. And also, it just, you can loosen up and tell each other things that I probably would not have ever said in public.
That's true. I don't even think about that or appreciate that enough. How it's more of a relaxed when we have a full hour to flesh everything out and the readings coming through. And then usually around 40 minutes, I open it up for more of a back and forth dialogue. Whereas for the first majority of the reading, I'm doing all the talking. That gives me a chance to tune in and get things without any clues. But then we can chit chat and we can share stories after, and it sometimes inspires new visions. But I remember you had me in stitches. You were telling me a couple of funny stories between you and Dave that were very consistent with his character from what I was sensing.
Well, when you told me the other night that he was giving that little two-step in the kick, I knew that you were really in touch with him for
That's right.
sure.
That was on Joyce's show when you started tasting tobacco.
Yes.
Joyce was talking about that earlier, and in fact, yes. And then he did that little two-step, little funny jig, like a little dance. And you told me afterwards that he had always done that whenever he made a funny little accomplishment as an inside joke.
Very much so.
That's hilarious. That's great. See, and I think if I remember, your whole concern was that you hadn't felt him around lately. So that was a big way of him punching through, I think, just to let you know he's there even when you don't sense him. Yeah.
Well, it really did come through because later that night I smelled the tobacco again when I got in bed.
Wow, that's amazing. And you don't smoke, and and it's like it's pretty cold in Canada right now, so it's not like you had the window open. It was the neighbor's cigarettes coming through or anything. This was like paranormal.
No,
Yeah.
this was definitely something that was just in the bedroom after we had talked, and he knew I didn't like him smoking. And
Ah.
towards the end, was outdoors. He thought I didn't know that he was still smoking, but I did know.
Oh, Dave. Well, I'm sure he's going to come through again soon, very soon, like this weekend in a dream. I'm seeing Friday night or Saturday or something. He likes to come around and hang out with you and watch TV on those nights.
That would be lovely.
Hmm.
I really think, bro, being able to talk with you, uh, I feel so much more relaxed about it. And definitely, I do know that he is around me. And it's because of you being able to give me that feeling. So thank you.
Thank you, Sandra. Always, always in my heart. Thank you so much. And with that, I'll wrap up the show this evening with a quick little tutorial on how to hop out of your body at night. Now, this is a really easy exercise because, like most of my exercises, you do them laying down. I don't like to stand up. So you lay in bed and you focus first on surrounding yourself with white light. You can imagine the room filling with white light, or you can visualize a bubble of white energy all around you like a shield. And you kind of just focus on breathing naturally. Get in a comfortable position. Some of you might like to lay on your side, others lay flat on your back for this. And you just breathe rhythmically. And with each breath in, you take in the white light filling your body. You can visualize this. And then after that, you just kind of relax, and you focus on relaxing every single muscle in your body. You start with the top of your head, down your eyebrows, your face, your mouth, your nose, your chin, your neck, down your chest, your arms, upper arms, lower arms, hands, fingertips, down your sternum, through the trunk of your body, your hips, your buttocks, your legs, all the way down to your toes. You just relax everything. Now, this is when your brain is so used to all the stimulation throughout the day that it gets bored, and it tries to distract you with making you itchy, making you twitch and do little things. These are very normal physical reactions to completely depriving yourself of sensory input. You do this in a dark room. And so as you do this, you just ignore the itches. You don't move. Keep your body relaxed. And after some time, maybe for some people it'll be a few minutes. Other people it'll be 20 minutes. Other people it'll be half hour, 45 minutes. You'll start to go into the hypnagogic state, which is where you're half asleep, half awake. And the idea is to stay conscious through the process. So look for audio hallucinations, maybe visions, maybe a little movie starts playing out in your mind. And that's when you go a little bit deeper and let yourself start to fall asleep, and then just verbally, mentally wake yourself up. You could scream at yourself in your head, but don't flinch, don't tense your muscles, just keep everything relaxed. And then you'll be awake. You'll just see black, your eyes closed, and then stay like this. Keep relaxed, keep breathing, and just let yourself fall back into that hypnagogic state. And this next time, try to let yourself fall asleep even more. Go deeper into the dream. But then just before you fall asleep, wake yourself up again by yelling at yourself. You say, wake up, in your head. On the third round, when you get deeper into sleep and you wake yourself up, this is going to be startling for many people who've never done this before, because you'll experience what's called the vibration phase. Now, this is when your astral body is starting to phase out of alignment with your physical body, and you're sensing the physical vibrational difference with the higher astral vibrational difference. So some people feel electrocuted, other people feel like they're being shaken violently. This is where you remain calm, and you just focus trying to imagine swinging side to side as though you're in a hammock. This is the hammock method. This is what I do without fail. And if you just kind of will yourself to swing side by side mentally, you'll pop out, and suddenly a rush of wind will flow over you, and you won't see anything at first because you'll be completely unused to using your third eye, your clairvoyance. So it'll probably be pitch black the first time you make it out, but you might bump on the ceiling. You might feel the little stucco feelings of the ceiling. And that's just so fun when you get to that stage for the first time. You're so exhilarated by the experience that it doesn't matter that you couldn't see anything. Usually the second or third time you'll see the room around you, and you can pull away from your body, try to escape your body's gravitational field. That's when you go soaring and you take an astral trip. You can fly through the city, fly over the suburbs, fly over the forest. And you can just focus your awareness on a loved one that you want to see, and you'll travel over to the spirit world, and that's how you can see them. So that procedure is relatively simple, but it does take a lot of practice. It took me about 4 months of doing this every other night just to have one experience. So it's worth it, though. Like anything, learning to skateboard, learning a musical instrument, learning a new language, it takes time, but it's worth it. So with that, I'll leave you guys. We'll play ourselves out, and we'll do another live stream, hopefully tomorrow. Each day I'll try to have a subject to impart some interesting knowledge, some information that you might find useful, and of course we'll have guests. All right, everybody, thank you again.
I used to you.